What up, nuts, man? Back again with another video. This video is kind of an important one for me because it's been a while since I wanted to do this. I'm talking about maybe years, but well, better late than ever. This video, I wanted to give my opinion on the character Luffy and how his simplisticness fits in with the world of One Piece so well, and why that dynamic of him being a simple character in this complex world, why it works so well and makes the series so great. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so first major point, because I don't want to be too long with this, but the first major point I wanted to put across is freedom versus control in One Piece, right? So you look at somebody like Luffy, right? It's all about freedom, having fun, going on adventures. That's the basis of his character. From the first beginning of the series, when he said he wanted to be Pirate King, we were a little bit skeptical, and not skeptical, but we were saying, okay, it's kind of like Naruto. He wants to be Hokage, he wants to be accepted, he wants to be the best, whatever. But a very interesting thing happened in the chapter where he met Rayleigh, and we learned that no, he actually doesn't want to be superior than anyone or anything like that. He just wants to be free. He wants to be the freest person in the world. And for me, that's just absolutely perfect. That matches up with Luffy, just perfectly. And it's what makes the series so good. And I'm not dismissing the world itself. I'm just saying that against that, combined with Luffy's simpleness and the desire to want to be free, is what makes the series so great. Because if you look, for example, if you look at the world we're living in right now, I'm sure a lot of us have wanted to go somewhere, but we physically we could get there, but we can't go there because we're not allowed to be there. Whether for whatever reason, there's a no trespassing sign, you're not supposed to pass here sign, or whatever, a ground, maybe a field or something you want to go play on, no playing on the grass or whatever it is. If you replace yourself with Luffy in this situation, Luffy is not going to pay attention to that sign. He's going to play on that field. He's going to go over that wall, and he's going to do whatever he wants to do. And that's the basis of, I think, a lot of humans. We just want to be free, and we do want to kind of do whatever we want. But the world we live in, we know we can't do that because, there are consequences. And depending on where you live, there could be a more harsh, a more I don't know what's the word, a more harshful punishment, or you might get off lenient. But yeah, so that's like the basis of of we wanting to be free, but we can't be free. And Oda uses that in the world of One Piece. He uses that just so perfectly, and on the contrast, the government, we know the government, whether it's in the One Piece world or the real world, they really want to have a lot of control on what we do, how we live and stuff like that, whether it's good or bad. They want to control how we do things pretty much, or they want to have a system of how we do things, more so in the real world. In the One Piece world, they pretty much just want to control for their own purposes, their whatever their underlying purposes is. And I think that creates this just beautiful relationship, whether good or bad, well, mostly bad, in a conflict sort of way against Luffy, where it comes to Luffy going against them. And he goes against them, but he does that indirectly, which that's creates a pretty neat relationship too, because his dad goes against them directly and he's doing it indirectly, just Luffy being simple and just wanting to live freely is against how how the government controls the world. He can't do that. You can't really live in the world free and not have the government against you, you're gonna pretty much be labeled as a pirate, because that's pretty much anybody that's pretty much living freely is a pirate, or revolutionary, or it's pretty much somebody bad. So I want to give a few examples of why this creates some just absolutely beautiful scene, and I think those are the basis of creating this beautiful I guess I don't know if I should call it relationship, but it creates these beautiful scenes that makes the series what it is. And I think a lot of people just I think they overlook how Luffy himself just makes the series so great, because it's always said that the world kind of happens, and I guess it affects Luffy, which is true, but him just being him, the world kind of goes toward him, if you get what I'm saying. It doesn't revolve around him, but it moves towards him, because how he lives, chooses to live his life. It's just like if somebody were to invent something for themselves, but it could change the world. So now it's not so much yours anymore. It becomes everybody's, because you can't just benefit from something that can benefit the world. The world has to benefit from it. And it works in a negative way too, where you can't have something bad and, just have it. Somebody's going to want to take it away, or either to use it or to control it for good purposes. They don't want you to overuse it to harm other people and stuff like that. So I think that's the dynamic that a lot of people overlook, and I think it's just great. And one of the biggest examples of this is the scene where Luffy and Hachi, the fishmen, were there in the Subody archipelago, and they met the celestial dragons, and we learned the history of the celestial dragons, and we pretty much learned why we should freaking hate these guys. So, but I think Luffy did learn, but he ended up punching one. But the reason he punched him, it has nothing to do with the fact that they have slaves or that they're terrible people. He punched them because he hurt his friends. It's just that simple, And while the others were aware of the consequences, and they were, somewhat afraid of the consequences. I don't want to say kid so much. I think it was just a little much. I don't think Law was afraid either. I think they were just cautious. But Luffy pretty much punched him, not thinking about the repercussion. Because that's the simpleness of him, and it makes sense. It does make sense for Luffy to do that, because he's not smart. He just sees a conflict. He sees his friend, and he's like, okay, you hurt my friend, I'm gonna hurt you. And it's just as simple as that. I'm not looking at you as a celestial dragon. I'm just looking at you as a bad person. But everybody else in the world, they might see Luffy and say, this guy's a hero. He punched these evil men. And other people are like, okay, this guy's a pirate. He's a bad guy. He just punched the celestial for no reason. He's a nuisance. He's just here to cause destruction. But that's not what Luffy's doing in his eyes. He's just defending his friend, and I think that's just perfect. And another example of this is, I think, a very beautiful scene. One of my favorite scenes in the more recent chapters, when he was in Wano, and the slaves were in Luffy was in the prison with the slaves, and they used the poison to affect all the slaves, and they were basically suffering. And one of them were saying to Luffy, why did you come here? We were all right before you came. And then Luffy was just like, don't talk nonsense. This isn't any way to live. You call being a slave a way to live. I came here because, well, he came here to fight Kaido. He met this little girl named Tama. She gave him her last food, and he was like, okay, you're my friend. I'll do this for you. I'll free Wano just for you. That's why Luffy's there. He's there to help his friends. And this one gets a little more complex, because I think he heard the story of Odin, and I think Odin reminds him of himself as well. So I think in this one there may be a little bit more deeper feeling for Luffy to actually do this one. It's not only helping his friend. It's for Odin. I think it's for Odin as well too. You know, he heard that story, and I think he felt a lot of compassion for Odin because Odin is pretty much like him. So I think this is where I'll end it. Because I don't want to make it too long, but I'll probably do a part 2 of why his simplisticness against the world is it works out just so perfectly and makes the series very dynamic, and it makes the series what it is. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'd appreciate a like or a subscription, or subscribe for more. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more or what you thought about the video, and thank you.